Okay, hope all is well. Today I want to talk about something that's driving me crazy. Okay, as an investor who's when you become successful and are doing better as an investor, it's hard to have cash on the sideline. Right now, I've got 55% of my portfolio is in cash. Commentators that I follow, okay, some of the economic experts and such, they're saying there's major corrections coming. And so that's part of the reason why I'm holding cash. Being defensive and risk off will bode well in the end. That's what I've learned. Okay, and that's kind of what we're doing right now. So we had a huge run up. Okay, and a lot of assets here. The valuations are stretched so far in some of the areas. That's why I'm being cautious. You got to really be careful that you're not overpaying for a stock. Because I start looking at numbers that I could have been making money putting this to work. It kind of drives me crazy. So how do I stay cautious while still putting some money to work? That's what I'm sitting on right now. This is where cover calls come in, everybody. If the market crashes, the cover calls won't save everything, but it does give you additional. Let's say it crashes 20%, and you're able to pull in 5 or 6, 7% premium. Okay, that cuts it back to 12 or 13% drop. And so that's kind of the numbers that I'm looking at right now. And at that point, you just have to wait it out. Okay. One of the mistakes that I see investors make is that you have two choices, okay? Either be fully invested or sit entirely in cash, okay? There is some of that conversation going around, okay? But look, I don't think it has to be that way. I'm constantly searching for setups with my checklist to make sure I'm getting it. There's a couple entry points that are doing okay. Share one of them with you right here. So for me, the covered calls can be a middle ground with this discussion. They're not risk-free, okay? If the stock drops hard, you're still exposed in that position. You can't do anything about it. But if I'm willing to own a stock anyway, over the long term, you collect the premium, I can wait so it will improve over the long run. That's kind of my thought right now. So that's what I'm sharing with you today. Thanks for checking everybody. Hop Sauce here. One of the stocks I'm watching right now is Chewy, okay? This is not a recommendation, okay? I'm simply showing you what I'm personally evaluating, okay? This interests me, okay? I have a bunch of doggies. I love doggies. I kind of understand that industry. So for me, the stock is trading near its 52-week low area, okay? Now, Chewy isn't recession-proof by any means. This is one of the companies that when inflation is high, it's the luxury pet items, their earnings are not doing as well as expected. The toys and the things and necklaces and jewelry for pets, people cut those expenses out first, and that's what they're seeing. But it's valued great, okay, and that's not going to stay forever. Trust me, things aren't going to stay tight with high inflation forever. When I start looking at a cover call candidate, I'm not looking at the options chain first. Don't make that mistake. You see some high premiums on different in-the-money calls and stuff like that. Don't let that freak you out, okay? What I want to know, where's the strong support? Where is the resistance level on where I would prefer to sell, okay, the call up there? Has the stock already been beaten down? Yes. Am I buying near a reasonable level? Yes. Could I comfortably hold this position if the market gets ugly? Sure, because I'm only going to put less than 10% of my portfolio in there. A lot of investors chase that premium. I've done it myself too. You chase risk management first is the mindset you should have. Now, again, this isn't financial advice, but that's actually the reason why I created my cover call tracker. And I use this thing personally, okay? Before I enter a trade, I run through the same process. I look at all the things that I was saying. There's a couple additional bullet points on there. Honestly, creating YouTube videos has made me a better investor because it forces me to really think through every single step of the process. And that's why I wanted to start this channel in the first place, because I was a high school teacher in my career, and I know when you have to teach something, you actually learn it better. Now, hey, I still got I'm self-employed. I got my handyman business. It's physical work, but I don't want my entire future to depend entirely on how many hours I can physically work. I feel good. Okay, I consider myself, you know what? I'll outwork any of you youngins out there. I'll challenge. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I've learned to set a pretty solid pace. That's why I've got solid clients. So, and it's nice, you know, having your own business and not having to answer to anybody. I love it, but it can't last forever. Okay, so we got to really focus on our portfolios and getting this thing pumped up. This is why I spend so much time studying these covered calls. This is a revenue stream. Tracking these trades and improving my personal process. I'll share it with you today. Okay. Every trade I do is another lesson. I've got hundreds of cover call trades that I'm going to be sharing as we move forward here. Real quick, let's look at the Chewy chart. Let me give you my logic on what I'm thinking here. The orange line at the top is the 52-week high. This orange line at the bottom, 52-week low. Look where we're trading right now. We're down here at the bottom, and we just bounced off of this new trend line that I have up here in green. These are weekly candles, okay? So one candle per week. Let's move it over to the daily. Okay, once we look at the daily here, gives you a little bit better perspective on why I'm thinking the way I am. It bounced off of this level, and it's only a little, this isn't a miss. You're never going to be able to get the exact top and the exact bottom. It's just not going to happen. So this candle is only about, you know, what is that? It's under 5%, so 4.6. This isn't a scenario. If I get into this play, it's not a chase. Now, I've got to do a little more research. I know that the forward PE is under 30. I believe it's right around 27. Premiums on the calls aren't amazing. That's what I'm kind of, with this play, I'd have to get in down here and let this thing run up to this next downward trend line. I'd be selling up here right around this 269. If I can pick it up around 19, it's trading out 1935 on Friday. I'd like to get it below that, but if I could, I would come up here and sell a call option around 2050 to 2060. And then what happens is if you get called out, boom, upside gain. I got a buck right there. So that's my thought. If you're interested in my free checklist, feel free to click that link below. Just put your email in there and I'll send it out to you. It's really good to just look over these bullet points that I have on here. It helps your mind wrap around just not buying anything. When I first started doing this, I was buying any affordable stock, selling the call right away, which is sometimes the best way to do it. But not if the value of the stock is too high. The PE ratios are too high. Don't do it. I mean, some of these AI stocks are just so overvalued. It's unbelievable. The SpaceX IPO, there's never been a more overpriced IPO in the history of the stock market. It's insane. I was scared. I didn't talk about it on my channel, but I just hope people didn't jump in and buy that thing. The owners are using retail investors for liquidity, so they can move forward with the goals and projects they have. You're going to see this stock. It's going to dip. So that's my 2 cents right there. So while I'm sitting on 55% cash today, I still look for quality opportunities. I've been doing it for weeks now. I haven't pulled the trigger in a couple of weeks. It's not, I'm uncomfortable. I want to get some money working, but I'm not going to be stupid and chase something, okay? I was just curious, after watching this video here, are you holding cash, everybody? Are you fully invested? Are you sitting in your retirement fund? Somewhere in between? I'm just curious. Leave me a comment below if you would, please. I'd like to see and hear where you're at. It's personal. I can't, listen, we can't judge each other's portfolio and the decisions we make. It's just what I've learned as an investor. You have your own thumbprint. You have to make your own decisions in order for this thing to manifest, okay, that we're trying to do here. So appreciate y'all. If you'd like the cover call checklist that I use before entering these trades, you can grab it here for free. Link's in the description. You just click that link and a little screen comes up. You put your email in there so we can send it over to you, okay? Appreciate your time, buddy. I'll see you in the next video. All right. Peace out.